Dear students, in this video lecture, we are going to discuss the maths behind the concept of profit, loss and discount. So you must have read these terms when you were in school. So I'm pretty sure that you are aware of the concept of profit and loss. For some of you, the concept of discount may be new, but we are going to discuss that thoroughly. So I presume that you have some basic idea of what is meant by profit, what is meant by loss. So all these terms are related to business transaction. So basically these terms make sense when transaction is of like buying or selling things. Somebody is involved in buying things, somebody is involved in selling things. Only then these terms make sense. So you invest money to start a business or you invest money to buy a thing. So what is the motive of doing business? The motive of doing business is to earn profit. So what is profit? So you want to make more money than you have invested. So the surplus amount, the extra money that you manage to earn is what is known as profit. But business is uncertain. You cannot be always sure to make profit. So there are chances that you may not be able to recover your investment. So if you suffer a loss in business, so that means you have invested certain amount of money, you are not able to recover the entire money. So the amount of money lost is loss. Okay, and we will discuss about discount in detail when we will get there. So what we have done is that we have broken this entire chapter into patterns, as we have been doing with other topics, so that you get to learn things in a very sorted manner. So you get to realize which concept is to be applied in which pattern of questions. So we have broken this entire chapter into patterns. So let's move to the first pattern of questions. So the first pattern of questions involves the knowledge of the basic of profit and loss. So as we have already discussed, you know what is profit, you know what is loss. So let's discuss the necessary concepts that you would be required to understand. Now first concept that you must be understanding is to express profit and loss as percentage of cost price. So what does that mean? Suppose I buy a chair. I buy a chair for, let's say, rupees 600, or let's say for some amount, for rupees X, I buy a chair. So since I have bought this chair, so this rupees X becomes my cost price for me. If you express this in terms of percentage, you can say that you have invested 100% of amount to buy this chair. So why you are buying this chair? The purpose of buying this chair is so that you can sell it to someone else and make some profit. Suppose it is known that by selling this chair, I make a profit of, let's say, 15% profit. So you can think of this profit in relation to cost price. So see, this is my investment, 100% is my investment. I have invested from my own pocket. I am looking for 15% profit. That means I would increase its price by 15% more, 15% of what I have already invested. So this is the amount of money that I will ask the customer to pay to me. If my motive is to earn 15% profit, so this is my approach. I have already invested 100% of money. 100% means my investment I am referring to as 100%. So profit or loss is always determined on basis of your cost price. So cost price is nothing but investment. So if you want to make a profit of 15%, so your thinking must be that I have already invested 100%. If I want to earn 15% profit, then I would expect that the customer should be paying me 100% plus 15%. So this extra amount will behave as profit. So this extra amount of 15% is what actually the profit is. So in such cases, so what is the final amount? The amount that customer would be paying to me is known as selling price. Selling price, the price on which the article was sold to the customer. So you can say that the price that customer would pay to me, or you can say the price that I would receive after selling the object is selling price. Now you have to learn to express selling price and profit and loss with respect to cost price. So in this case, we can say that selling price is equal to 115% of cost price. Why? Because it was very clear that this trader was seeking 15% profit. That means 100% is his investment and additional 15%. That's why 115%. Now let's take another example. Suppose it is already known that by selling an article, the trader suffers a loss of, let's say, 26%. 26% loss. Then how can you interpret this information? So investment of 100% is cost price. So this is what the shopkeeper invested. This is his cost price. Now he suffered a loss of 26%. That means he could not recover the entire amount. He suffered a loss of 26%. So that means he recovered only the remaining amount. So remaining amount out of 100%, he lost 26%. That means he managed to recover only 74%. 74% of what? 74% of what he had invested. And his investment is known as cost price. So in this case, the equation would be, or this piece of information can be written as that final price or the selling price is equal to 76% of cost price. That means you could not recover even 100% of your investment. You are in a loss. So let's take another example. So if I say to you that selling price is equal to, let's say, 92% of cost price, then what do you make of this information? Is it a case of profit or is it a case of loss? See, selling price is not even 100% of cost price. That means 100%, even 100% is not recovered here. That means this is a case of loss. That means out of 100% you invested 100%, but you are getting back only 92%. You are getting back only 92%. That means you have lost 8%. Similarly, if it is given somewhere that selling price is equal to, let's say, 112% of cost price, then you can immediately understand that this is good for me because I have recovered more than 100%. So this is a case of profit, more than 100%, 12% more than what you have invested. So this indicates 12% profit. So this is the first concept that you must be familiar with. So this is basically you have to learn how to express profit percentage or selling price as a percentage of cost price, because the story begins with the cost price. Story begins with the investment made by the person. Fine. So now let's move to the second concept. Now second concept, this concept is frequently used to make question. The good thing is that if you are aware of this concept, you can solve questions in like fraction of seconds. If you are not, then you will go into lengthy calculation. Please understand something. Let's suppose I have rupees 100 with me. I took rupees 100 to market and I went to market to buy pens. So I bought 10 pens. So why did I buy pens because I thought that I will sell these pens to someone else to earn profit. Now what did I do? So I bought 10 pens, but then I sold it to my local shopkeeper. I sold it to my local shopkeeper. I gave to my local shopkeeper 8 pens and took 100 rupees from him. Took 100 rupees from him. So my investment is recovered. I have invested rupees 100. I recovered back rupees 100. Did I gain something? Yes, I did gain. Please understand. So I bought 10 pens, but I sold only 8 pens. So these 2 pens are my profit in the whole transaction, in the whole business that I did. So this 2 pen is my profit. Now, if somebody asks that what is the profit percentage that I have earned, so how can I calculate my profit percentage? Let's understand the shortcut to it. See, if we take the traditional approach, so let's first solve it using the traditional approach. So let's solve it using traditional approach. So let's find the cost price. So cost price of 1 pen. Please understand, I have invested 100 rupees and in return I bought 10 pens. So cost price of 1 pen is equal to rupees 100 upon 10. So rupees 10, that means I paid 10 rupees to buy 1 pen. How much did I get back by selling 1 pen? So selling price of 1 pen. So I have sold 8 pen and I got back rupees 100. So selling price of 1 pen must be equal to rupees 100 by 8. So this comes out to be rupees 12.50. Now please understand, look from the perspective of a single pen. Your investment is rupees 10. That means you are investing rupees 10, but you are recovering rupees 12.50. That means this extra 2.50 is your profit. Now this 2.50 is what percent of 10? So 2.50 is what percent of 10 will give you the answer that what percent profit you have made. So answer is 25%. 25%. So this is the traditional approach. Now let's see what the shortcut is. So you have understood that if you would have taken the traditional approach, so you have got to the answer, and the answer is 25%. But this approach requires you to do a couple of calculations. So I will tell you a shortcut which using that you can solve these kind of questions in fraction of seconds. So let's see what that shortcut is. Let's see the shortcut. So ultimately what has happened, that he had 10 pence with him. He had 10 pence with him. He invested money and then he got 10 pence. What did he do with those 10 pence? Just by selling 8 pence, look at how many pence did he sell to recover his money. To recover his money, he sold 8 pence and kept 2 pence as a profit. So the shortcut is this recovery, the amount of articles that you sell to recover your investment acts as your cost price. You can consider this as your investment. So you have actually 10 pence, but just by selling 8 pence you are recovering your amount. So you can say that the business is centered around 8 pen. Business is of 8 pen, not of 10 pen. You are not selling 10 pence, you are selling only 8 pence. And by selling 8 pence, you gain 2 pence. So profit. So the pence that you get to keep or the extra articles that you manage to save acts as your profit. So this is your profit and this is your, you can say acts as the original investment or cost price. So if you calculate here, considering this approach, 2 as a profit, 8 as the cost price, and you solve this, you will get the same answer. What is the profit percent? So profit percent, same answer, 25%. So this is rather easy. This approach is very easy. You know, this will help you to get to the answer in like fraction of seconds. So now, laced with these concepts, let's try to see what kind of questions can you expect, or rather what kind of questions have been asked in previous exams. So only I am talking about these pattern of questions. We will discuss the remaining pattern of questions as and when, you know, the time comes. So first we will deal pattern by pattern. So now let's move on to solved examples. So the first one, a man bought an old typewriter for rupees 1200 and spent rupees 200 on its repair, and then he sold it for rupees 1680. So his profit percentage is equal to what? So please understand, what is his total investment? He bought it for rupees 1200, but he have to spend another 200 rupees to repair it. So his total expenditure, because he has sold it, so he is doing a business. So his total expenditure over that typewriter is rupees 1400. So the cost price will not be 1200 only. This 200 will also have to be added to it. So cost price is equal to rupees 1400. Selling price is equal to rupees 1680. So you can see that selling price is more than cost price. So if selling price is more than cost price, definitely profit has been made. So profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. So this comes out to be 280. Now the question is profit percentage. So you invested rupees 1400, and because of this investment you have managed to earn 280 rupees of profit. So profit percentage would be equal to what? 280 upon 1400. So you are trying to say that I invested 1400 rupees, and because of my investment I have earned 280 rupees. So 280 is what percentage of 1400? So answer is 20%. So let's move to next one. If a man were to sell his chair for rupees 720, he would lose 25%. To gain 25%, he would sell it for what? Now, what this question is trying to convey is, the chair is sold for 720 at a loss of 25%. So please understand, this 100% is the investment cost price. So when you sell it for rupees 720, you are incurring a loss of 25%. So I can say that 75% of cost price is equal to 720. Why? Because when I sell it for rupees 720, I incur a loss. So out of 100%, I lose 25%. That means I recover only 75%. So 75% of the cost price is equal to 720. Question is, to gain 25%, he should sell it for what price? So if you want to gain 25%, that means you have already invested 100%, you want to gain. So in that case, you actually want to recover 125% of what you have invested. So question changes to, it has been given to you that 75% of something. 75% of something is equal to 720. You want to calculate 125% of same thing. That means 75% of cost price into cost price is equal to 720. Then what is 125% of cost price? So we are trying to calculate this. Now you can divide this. These numbers will be in proportion. So if 75% of something is 720, what will be 125% of same number? So proportionality. So 75, 125. So 3 upon 5. So 3 upon 5. So missing figure is equal to how much? 720 into 5 by 3. So this is 240. So 1200. So 1200 is the correct answer. Now, by selling an article for rupees 560, a trader makes a profit of 16.66%. So if you have seen the videos of percentage, if you are familiar with the concept of percentage, so it is always recommended to transform these kind of percentages into fraction. These are standard percentages. So 16.66 is basically 1/6 of something, 1/6 of anything. Now what is the question? By selling an article for rupees 560, a trader makes a profit of 1/6. 1/6 makes a profit of 1/6. That means if you have invested 6x, then you are making a profit of x, 1/6. That's why I assume this to be 6x, so that taking 1/6 of it becomes easy. So this 6x is cost price, this x is profit, and this total 6x plus x is the selling price. So selling price is equal to 7x is equal to 560. So from here you can see that x is equal to 80. You can solve this. X comes out to be equal to 80. So what is the cost price? Cost price is equal to 6x. So cost price is equal to 6x is equal to 6 into 80 is equal to 480 rupees, 480. Let's take next example. By selling an article for rupees 84, a trader incurs a loss of 12.50%. Find the cost price of the loss. So by selling an article for rupees 84, a trader incurs a loss of 12.50%. Now 12.50% is another standard percentage. So 12.50 is 1/8 of anything. 1/8 of anything. So here what they are trying to say, that whatever you have invested, you lost 1/8 of it. So you assume that you invested 8x. So you invested 8x. So you have a loss of x, 1/8, because loss percentage is 12.50%. So cost price minus loss is equal to selling price. So selling price, which is given to be equal to 84. So selling price is equal to 8x minus x. So you can say that selling price is equal to 7x. So from here 7x is equal to 84, which means x is equal to 12. So if x is equal to 12, you can easily find the cost price and loss. Cost price is equal to 8x. So if you know the value of x, you can easily calculate the value of cost price. 8x, 96, loss x, 12. Let's move to the next one. Now this is a very good question, and these type of questions are very commonly asked. So I would suggest that you first pause this video, first give it a try yourself, see if you can, if you are able to crack this pattern. So I hope you must have given this a try. So for those of you who have not been able to solve this, let's try to solve this together. Let's see what this question is. If the price of a loss making item is increased by rupees 60, then the item would fetch a profit of 3% instead of a current loss of 2%. Find the current selling price and the cost price of the object. Now read this question carefully, what this is trying to say. That currently, see, an object is sold and currently it leads to a loss of 2%. So the shopkeeper sees that he is getting a loss. So he says that if I increase the price by rupees 60, why he wants to increase the price? Because he saw that he is in a loss. So he thinks that if I increase the price by rupees 60, instead of a loss of 2%, I would start making a profit of 3%. So based on this information, you have to calculate the current selling price and the cost price of the object. How can you solve this? So 100% is the investment, which is technically known as cost price. When you are suffering a loss of 2%, means you are recovering only 98% loss of 2% loss. So he wants to increase the price by rupees 60 so that instead of 2% loss, he gains 3%. He makes a profit of 3%. So making a profit of 3% would mean he is recovering 103%. So from 98%, he will jump to 103% if price is increased by 60%, by rupees 60. What does this mean? It means the difference of 103%, that means 103% minus 98% of cost price comes out to be equal to rupees 60. That must be equal to rupees 60. This difference, this gap, to make things more clear, if you erase this, you will understand that this gap is what I am talking about. So 98% and 103%. This gap in terms of percentage comes out to be 5%. So 5% of cost price is equal to rupees 60. So if 5% of something is known, we have to calculate 90% of same thing, because 90% of the same thing is equal to the current selling price. So let's do that. So 5% is known. So this is equal to 60. So what is 90% equal to? So proportionality will be maintained. So let's solve it using cross proportionals. So 5 12s are this much. So x comes out to be 98 into 12. So 9x is equal to 12 into 98. So this comes out to be 980 plus 196 is equal to 1176. So 1176 means the current selling price. So current selling price is equal to 98%, and that 98% when translated into money comes out to be rupees 1176. The second part, cost price. So cost price means 100% of your investment. So if 5% is equal to 60, what is 100% equal to? Cross proportional. So this 20 times. So from here x comes out to be 1200. So this x means 100%. So cost price is 100%, which when translated into money comes out to be rupees 1200. Let's move to next one. Now, a vendor bought bananas at 6 for a rupee. How many for a rupee must he sell to gain 20%? Please understand. So he have invested 6 rupees and bought 6 bananas. So his investment is 1 rupee. Question is, how many for a rupee must he sell to gain 20%? So if he wants to recover his entire investment, his investment is 1 rupee, he wants to recover that 1 rupee, and he also wants to make profit. So he has 6 articles. That means he will keep some articles with him because he is gaining profit. Fine. So he have to keep out of these 6 articles. So he have 6 articles. He have 6 articles. So out of those 6 articles, he will keep X articles with him, and he will sell the remaining articles. Fine. So the articles that he is selling to recover his investment acts like cost price, and this acts like profit. So what is said here? The profit must be equal to 20%. So this X must be 20% of 6 minus X. Fine. So what does this actually mean? It actually means that this 6 bananas are behaving like 120% of investment. 120% of investment. Why? Because you want to recover 20%. You want to gain 20%. So this 6 banana is like 120% of his investment. He will sell only that many bananas to recover 100% of his investment. He will keep a few bananas which will indicate 20% profit. So how to solve this using shortcut? So his entire article, so he has 6 articles with him. So equate that to 120%. Equate that to 120%. Based on that, you calculate the value of 100%. So that many bananas you will require to sell, and you can keep the extra bananas. So let's solve this. His motive is to gain 120. His motive is to gain 20%. So you can say that 6 articles is equal to 120% of his investment. Fine. So how many articles are equal to 100%? So he will sell these many articles. He will keep the remaining articles with him, so that by keeping the remaining articles, he gains profit. So this is the approach. 6 articles, 120%. So how many articles are equivalent to 100%? So let's solve the missing figure. So missing figure is equal to 6 into 100 by 120. So this is 5 by 6. So missing figure comes out to be equal to 5. So he will have to sell only 5 articles. So he had 6 articles. He will sell 5. He will keep 1. So if you look carefully, 1 is 20% of 5. So if you are able to think carefully, you can immediately, take this approach, try to divide them. You will get the answer quickly. Let's see the next one. If toffees are bought at a rate of 18 for a rupee, then how many of them must be sold for a rupee to gain 20%? Again the same case. So you have already bought 18 chocolates. So you have 18 chocolates with you. You want to gain 20%. So that means you will keep this much with you, and you will sell this much part, 20%. So divide this 18 chocolates in this ratio, 120. That means in the ratio of 5:1. So divide 18 chocolates in such a manner that you sell 100%, you keep 20% with you. So this 20% will behave like profit for you. So 120 in what ratio? 5:1. So these 18 chocolates have to be divided in this ratio, 5:1. So let's do that. So how much this comes out to be? 5 by 5 plus 1, because ratio is 5:1 into 18. So 5 by 6 into 18. So 15. So if you will see properly, this is 15 chocolates. He will sell sell 15 chocolates, keep 6 chocolates, because this is 1 divided by 5 plus 1 into 18. So you just have to divide 18 in this ratio, 5:1. So sell 15, whatever the object is. So in this case it is a toffee, and keep 6 with you. So 15 is the correct answer. Let's move to next one. All these are actual questions that have been asked in previous years. So if apples are bought at a rate of 30 for a rupee, how many apples must be sold for a rupee so as to gain 20%? So you have already bought 30 apples. Your motive is to gain 20%. That means you think in this way that you are going to sell 100%. You are going to keep 20% with you. So this 20% would act like a profit to you. The ratio 100:20. What ratio? 5:1. So the job is to divide 30 in this ratio. 30 in the ratio of 5:1. So if you divide this carefully, this comes out to be 25 and 5. So you sell 25 and keep 5 articles. So answer is you sell 25. Let's see next one. A trader bought pens at a rate of 7 for rupees 10 and sold them at a profit of 40%. So how many pens would a customer get for rupees 10? So his investment is rupees 10. So the question is, how many pens must he sell to recover his investment if it is already known that profit is 40%? So how many pens he have already bought? So a trader bought pens at the rate of 7. So he have bought 7 pens. What is his motive? His motive is to earn 40% profit. So you can think this way, that he is going to sell 100% and going to keep 40%. So 100% and 40%. What ratio? 5:2. So divide 7 pens in this ratio, 5:2. So this comes out to be 5 and 2. So you sell 5 pens and keep 2 pens with you. So how many pens would a customer get? So how many pens is he going to give to his customer? So he is going to give only 5 pens to his customer. So 5 is the correct answer. Okay, let's see this question. A dealer sells a horse for rupees 400, making a profit of 25%. He sells a second horse at a loss of 10% and on the whole makes neither profit nor loss. So what did the second horse cost him? So let's understand what this question is trying to convey. So a trader has sold 2 horses. The first he sells for rupees 400. So selling, and on selling it for rupees 400 he has made a profit of 25%. So he has made a profit of 25%. He had invested 100% and he also made a profit of 25%. So this total amount is 400. He is selling. This is the selling price. Horse 1, horse 1, horse 2. So this total price is 400. So in what ratio? 125. Ratio of 4:1. So divide 400 in the ratio 4:1. So this is equal to 320 and 80. So you can say 320 was the cost price of this horse. Cost price. And 80 was the profit earned. 80 is the profit earned from here. What happened when he sold the second horse? So when he sold the second horse, so he incurs a loss of 10%. So second horse, so he loses 10% of that. Here he is gaining, here he is losing. The Overall, it is a case of no profit, no loss. So what does this mean? The amount that he gains here is exactly equal to the amount he lost here. So what amount he lost here? He lost 10% of 10% of the investment he has made on second horse, because it is said that by selling second horse he is incurring a loss of 10%. So whatever he gains by selling the first horse, he loses the exact same amount by selling the second horse. And it is already known that by selling the second horse, he is incurring a loss of 10%. So loss of 10%, that means 10% of the entire cost price. So can't you say that 80 must be equal to 10% of the cost price of second horse? So 10% of this entire thing, let it call it x. So 80 is equal to 10% of x. So from here x is equal to what? So 10% of something is 80. So what is 100% of that thing? 10 times 800. So the cost price of the second horse would have been equal to 800. Let's move to the next one. I buy two horses, A and B. So this guy is buying two horses. A costs rupees 50 more than B. So two horses A and B. A costs rupees 100 more than B. Now since we are dealing with percentages, so always keep a tendency to choose such variables, finding percentage of which would be easy. So I sell A at a profit of 16% and B at a profit of 7%. My total gain is rupees 100. So assume, now what is saying? He buys two horse, A costs rupees 50 more than B. So I am assuming that he bought B for 100x. So that means he bought A for rupees 50 more than this. So he bought A for 100x plus additional 50 rupees. So this is the cost price. So these both figures are the cost price. Now what is known? It is known that he has made a profit of 16% by selling A. So here he has made 16% profit, and by selling the second one, that means B, he has made a profit of 7%. 7%. And his total gain is given to be equal to rupees 100. So gain from A is 16% of this figure. So gain from here, how much he is going to gain? 16% of his investment. So 16% of this, 16x plus 16% of 50, that means 8. So he gains this much from here. How much he gains from by selling B? 7%. So 7% of 100x, that means 7x. So gain from horse A is 16x plus 8. Gain from horse B is 7x. So his total gain, sum of these two. So 16x plus 7x plus 8. So 23x plus 8. So this total gain is given to be equal to rupees 100. So 23x plus 8 is equal to 100. So from here x comes out to be equal to 100 minus 8, 92. 92 divided by 23. So 4. So x comes out to be equal to 4. Question is, what is the original price of B? Original price of B. So original price of B we had assumed to be equal to 100x. We have found out the value of x. So if x is equal to 4, so therefore 100x is equal to what? 400. Let's move to next one. A man's petrol bill in July is rupees 200. In August, the price of petrol increases by 10% and his consumption is reduced by 10%. So find his petrol bill in August. So let's try to see how we can solve this question using a very unique approach. Let's see. So what is petrol bill? Petrol bill depends on how much you are consuming. That means what quantity you are consuming. And the second factor on which it depends is what is the price of petrol. For example, if I am consuming 6 liters of petrol, and assume the price of petrol to be, let's say, rupees 90 per liter. So if somebody will ask me what is my petrol bill, so petrol bill, total petrol bill, if you look carefully, it is the product of quantity consumed, quantity into price per unit. Here the unit is liter, because we buy petrol in liters, not in kg, not in meters. So petrol bill, if you look carefully, is the product of these two numbers, quantity and price per unit. So from here you get a shortcut. So before coming to that shortcut, let's clear a few more things. Suppose there is a number n. And if it is said to you that increase n by 12%. So what can you do? You can do that in two ways. So it means n, which was already 100%, you want to add 12% extra of it so that it increases by 12%. So you mean to say that what was already 100%, you now want it to make it to 112%. So if 100% meant n, what will 112% mean to be? So it's just like saying this. So if you see, the missing figure comes to be equal to n into 112 by 100. So you can see this multiplying factor. So if you have to increase, the multiplying factor is greater than 1. 100 is the base. Similarly, if you have to decrease n by 8%, let's say you have to decrease n by 8%, you can straight away multiply this by 92 by 100, because you are decreasing. 100 minus 8, so 92. Fine. So let's take a few more examples before you try to apply this. So increasing and decreasing in terms of percentages, you can do it via fraction. Always try to do away with percentages. Try to convert percentages into fractions. Calculations becomes very easy. So now let's take a small example of what I was trying to convey. So if a number is n and I want to first increase this by, let's say, 27%. So I am taking two steps. First I am increasing this by 27%, then this will become some other number. N will change to something else. So when it will change to something else, then I will reduce it by, let's say, 13%, so that it becomes something else. So what is the final value? What will be the final value? I can actually calculate in one step. So first I took n, then what I did with n? I tried to increase its value by 27%. So first I did this, then I would have got this answer. So when I got this answer, which is actually equal to this much, then in this I decreased by 13%. So decreasing by 13%. So 100 minus 13, 87. So in one step, you can reach to the answer in one step. So here also you have to apply the same concept. Why and how. So let's understand that why did I tell you about this concept in context of this question. So how is this concept related to this question? Let's see. So petrol bill, as you saw, is equal to the quantity of petrol that you are buying into price per unit. What is the question? The price increases by 10%. So if price is increasing by 10%, so it's like that you multiply price by this number. So this indicates that price is increased. Similarly, consumption is reduced by 10%. So consumption means what? Quantity that you are buying. So consumption is reducing by 10%. That means the quantity that you are now buying would be this much. Q was the original quantity, whereas the new quantity is this much. Fine. Now, petrol bill was 200. It means Q into P. Q into P was the original petrol bill. So this was equal to 200. Whereas the new petrol bill can be calculated in this manner, 90 by 100 into Q. Why 90 by 100? Because consumption has reduced by 10% and price has increased by 10%. That's why it got multiplied by this. So Q into P is equal to 200. So petrol bill was already 200. Then you multiply it by these two numbers. 90 by 100 into 110 by 100. Let's see what this comes out to be. So 100 and 200 cancel out. So 9 into 2 into 11. So 9 into 2, that means 18. 18 into 11. So 180 plus 18. So 198 is the final answer. Let's move to the next one. I sell a table for rupees 24 and thus make a percentage of profit equal to the cost price. So let's see what is the question trying to convey. So he first invested amount X. So let's suppose cost price to be equal to rupees X. What is being said? That he has made a profit. It is clearly given that he is making a profit. And it is said that percentage of profit is equal to cost price. So it is simply trying to say that the profit percentage coincidentally is X% only. That means he already have invested rupees X plus he is going to gain an additional X% of X. So the profit that he is making is X% of X. Fine. So the total cost. So total cost means his original investment plus profit. So this total cost, sum of these two is equal to selling price, and selling price is 24. So let's solve this. So his investment was rupees X plus his profit is X% of X. So X% of X. So this is equal to 24. So let's solve this. So what will this come out to be? You can take 100 as common. So 100x plus x square is equal to 2400. So this comes out to be a quadratic equation. So x square plus 100x minus 2400. So splitting the middle term, x square plus 120x minus 20x minus 2400 is equal to 0. So x comes out to be equal to either minus 120 or 20. Negative answer is not acceptable because x is the investment, money. Money cannot be negative. So answer is 20. So if you think carefully, he invested rupees 20, sold it for rupees 24. That means his profit is 4. 4 is what percent of 20? So 4 is exactly 20% of 20. So that's why x percent of x, x percent of x, 4 is 20% of 20. Let's move to the next one. A person sold his watch for rupees 75 and got a percentage of profit equal to the cost price. That means he first invested x plus he made a profit of x percent of x. Same scenario. So this is given to be equal to 75. So let's solve this. X plus x square by 100 is equal to 75. Can we take help of options? I think 50 will work. Does 50 work here? So 50 plus 50. So either you frame quadratic equation and solve it, or you can guess out from the options that 50 seems to be working. 50 plus 2500 divided by 100. So yes, indeed 75. So 50 is the correct answer. Let's move to the next one. The cost price of 12 articles is same as the selling price of 8 articles. So what are they trying to say? Cost price of 12 articles. Let cost price of one article be denoted by CP and selling price be denoted by SP. So what is the information given in the question? Cost price of 12 articles. So if cost price of one article is CP, cost price of 12 articles will be cost price into 12. So this is given to be equal to selling price of 8 articles. So this is the information given in the question. So if you convert this into fraction, you can say that cost price by selling price is equal to 8 by 12. 8 by 12. So you can simply assume that cost price to be equal to 8 and selling price to be equal to 12. Who can stop you from assuming that? Nothing, no concrete information is given in the question. Only the indicator is cost price and selling price are in this ratio. So if they are in this ratio, you can easily assume them to be those very numbers. So what's the harm in assuming cost price to be equal to 8 and selling price to be equal to 12? So based on this figures that cost price is equal to 8 and selling price is equal to 12, you can easily calculate the profit percentage. How? So profit is equal to extra money that you earn. So you invested rupees 8, you are getting back rupees 12. So extra money, 12 minus 8. So 4 rupees of profit. So profit percentage. So you have earned 4 rupees, I agree. But how much did you invest? What was the original investment? Original investment was 8. So by investing rupees 8, you have managed to earn rupees 4. So 4 is what percentage of 8? So comes out to be 50%. Let's move to next one. A trader makes a profit equal to the selling price of 75 articles when he sold 100 of the articles. What is the information given in the question? Profit is equal to selling price of 75 articles when he sold 100 of the articles. So profit, so it is given clearly that this is a case of profit. The profit is expressed in terms of something. It is said to us that profit is equal to selling price of 75 objects. Fine. What can you do? See, you have to calculate the profit percentage. So to calculate the profit percentage, you have to understand what is profit equal to. To understand what is profit equal to, we have to know what is selling price is equal to, because profit is expressed in terms of selling price. So you can assume selling price to be rupees 1. So selling price of one object to be equal to rupees 1. So what has this guy done? he has sold 100 article. So he have sold exactly 100 article. So he went to the market, he sold 100 articles. We are assuming selling price of one article to be rupees 100. So total SP, total selling price that he will receive from his customers. So total selling price that he receives from his customers is equal to rupees 100, because we have assumed selling price of one article to be equal to rupees 1. What is the profit? What is the profit in this 100 rupees? This 100 rupees that he have got from his customers also includes profit. What is the profit? Profit is said to be equal to selling price of 75 articles. We have assumed selling price of one article to be rupees 1. So profit is equal to rupees 75. So you get 100 rupees from your customers, and that 100 rupees contains 75 rupees of profit. So what is your investment? So how much you have invested? You are getting 100 and you are saying that the 100 rupees that I have received, in that 100 rupees, 75 rupees is of profit. That means your original investment or the cost price must be equal to only rupees 25. Only rupees 25. So you invested rupees 25, you sell that object for rupees 100, so the extra 75 rupees becomes your profit. So what is the profit percentage? Profit percentage is equal to profit earned 75. You have earned a profit because you have invested rupees 25. So this is how you will calculate your profit percentage. So comes out to be 300%. Okay, let's see. A merchant marks his goods in such a way that the profit on sale of 50 articles is equal to the selling price of 25 articles. So again, if you read carefully, so a person has sold 50 articles. The actual number of articles that have been sold are 50. And by selling those 50 articles, he has made a profit. So that profit is said to be equal to the selling price of 25 articles. So profit is equal to selling price of 25 articles, number of articles sold. Number of articles sold is not 25, it's 50. 50. So since profit is expressed in terms of selling price, so you assume selling price of one article to be equal to rupees 1. Fine. So total selling price, he has sold 50 articles. So total selling price received is equal to rupees 50. Fine. So in those rupees 50, there is some profit. That rupees 50 that he has received from his customer contains profit as well. So what is the profit? Profit is equal to 25 into selling price. Profit is equal to the selling price of 25 articles. So profit is equal to selling price, that is 1 into 25. So out of the 50 rupees that he has received from his customers, those 50 rupees, 25 are of profit. So what is his investment or cost price? Technically cost price. So that is equal to 50 minus 25. So if you have to calculate his profit percentage, so you see that he invested rupees 25, and because of his investment of rupees 25, he is earning a profit equal to rupees 25. So profit percentage can be calculated in this manner, that is earning rupees 25 because he has invested rupees 25. So this is his profit percentage, 100%. Let's move to next one. A TV seller was neither making profit nor loss. So in order to increase revenue, a dealer announces 20% reduction in the unit price. As a result, his sales volume increases by 20%. What is his overall gain or loss to the trader? So what is the money received by the trader? He is selling televisions. So how much money will he receive by selling televisions? The number of television sets sold. So quantity, that means number of television sets that he has sold into price per unit. So this is the money that he was receiving from his customers, and this indicated no profit, no loss. So you can say that originally this was the situation that quantity into price was equal to 100% of cost price. Fine. Now he changed his strategy. He saw that he is not able to make any profit, neither is he suffering any loss. So what is the use of doing business? So that's why he changed his strategy. What did he do? He announces 20% reduction in the unit price. So just understand what is the change he did. So he reduces the unit price by 20%. So price was P. The new price will now become P multiplied by 80 by 100. So multiplying by 80 by 100 signifies 20% reduction. As a result of reducing the price, his sales volume increases by 20%. Sales volume means the quantity of television sets that he is selling increases by 20%. That means quantity Q changed by this much. Fine. Now Q into P is equal to 100% of cost price. So let's see what happened to 100% of cost price. So this is now he will recover. Earlier he was recovering exactly 100% of his cost price. That's why he was neither making profit nor making loss. Now that thing have changed in two respects. Quantity becomes this much, price becomes this much. So what is the net effect of this change? So let's see the net effect of this change. So 120 by 100, 6 by 5, 80 by 100, 4 by 5. So this is 24 by 25, 24 by 25 into Q into P. Now Q into P is equal to 100% of cost price. So this is equal to 24 by 25 of 100% of cost price. So this is equal to 96% of cost price. So because of his changed strategy, he now manages to recover only 96% of cost price. That means not even 100% of cost price. So his strategy failed. He is suffering loss. He is not able to recover his 100%. He is recovering only 96%. So 96% means he is suffering a loss of 4%.